Good morning, afternoon, evening, or wherever you're watching this podcast. I am Jay Riv.
I am Noni.
And we are going to be doing another episode of Artist Alley. Last time we did a quick introduction, and it was our first time doing Artist Alley. And now we're going to be doing our second episode where we're going to be talking about reboots and revivals. So, Noni, what is your opinion on reboots and revivals?
So my opinion on it, dude, it's like, I feel like originality is kind of dying a little bit because...
You can say that again.
No, seriously. Like, I don't see that much originality when it comes to, like, original storylines, new characters, either, like, you know, a reboot or something, like, that's already been made. Like, with the Shrek movie. I mean, I was excited for a new Shrek movie, but then I saw it and I said, like, okay, why they had to... Like, you can't... How I thought in my mind, like, you shouldn't have, like, fixed something that was never broken. Like, it was already great in the beginning. Why change the art style now? But there's only one good thing about the Shrek movie, J-Rib. Do you know what it is?
What is it? Explain to me.
They have Zendaya. That's the only good thing about the whole movie. That's what's the only good thing that's gonna happen.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess that is, like, the one good thing. I mean, I'll be honest with you, when I saw the trailer, I was, like, in the minority that actually thought it would be kind of cool. Not to have, like, a full-length movie, but maybe kind of have, like, I don't know, like a short animation or something like that for Shrek. But then I saw the scene where Shrek was, like, twerking and whatnot, and I was just like, okay, this is dumb. And this looks like something that Illumination made. Although, I have to be honest, I do think that if they use the original art style that they used for, like, the past 4 movies, I do feel like with today's technology, it wouldn't really mesh well. And I'll explain why. Because I feel like that, honestly, Shrek... You know, I feel like it would be open to have, like, a new, like, interpretation. Because DreamWorks is known for a new style right now. It's not known for what it used to be known for back then. Back then, it tried to be a bit more realistic with its animation per Shrek or their movies. But now it's going for a more comic book / cartoony art style, basically. I played Shrek 4, the one on the Xbox, and oddly enough, I actually have a ROM file of the Shrek game where it's called Shrek Extra Large, where basically you run around on a world, basically, and you basically can, like, beat people up as Shrek, and you just run at, like, super fast speeds, basically. And then there's also, like, this, like, gimmick where you can, like, fart on people or burp on people with, like, peppers. Like, you get, like, spicy peppers and you can, like, fart fire or burp fire as well, which I think is so stupid.
Dude, like, Shrek running, that reminds me of, like, that Xbox game that was kind of, like, weird because they had, like, Shrek running, like in super speed, thinking, like, he's, like a marathon runner.
It's funny, actually, because the Xbox game was actually a launch title. I think it was a launch title for, like, the original Xbox, and then it got re-released for the GameCube under a different name called Shrek Extra Large. So basically, those two games are very similar. It's just the only difference is, though, is that Shrek Extra Large actually has, like, more cutscenes and an actual, like has more cutscenes, basically, and has different levels. Whereas Shrek for the Xbox is... I believe it was a bit more... It had different worlds and stuff like that, but they're pretty much the same game, more or less.
Yeah, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, my favorite games that I liked playing that were the Shrek ones, I think it was Shrek, like, it was a sequel, it was, like, Shrek the Third. Those were the only 2 games I played, and they're actually kind of fun because they had storylines and, like, more characters into the game.
I never played Shrek the Third or Shrek 2, the video game. I do hear Shrek 2, the video game, is very, like, good from what I hear. Another Shrek game that I actually played as well that I actually kind of liked was, it's called Shrek Super Slam. It's basically kind of like a Smash Brothers clone, but instead of, like, you know, like, you have to knock out people, I think you have to basically, like, drain people of their health, and then you pretty much get, like, something called a Super Slam. It's, like, pretty much like your final Smash move. And you can basically play as any of the Shrek characters, including, but not limited to, some of the fairy tale creatures.
Like what? I never played it. I think I played other Smash, like, related games that try to be Smash Bros. Like, I'm not sure if you also played those games too.
Yeah, there's a couple of them. There were some that I played that really were, like, really similar to Smash Brothers, and then you had those that were quote unquote not trying to be Smash Brothers. They're basically like Smash Brothers. I played one that was like the Cartoon Network one. I think it was called Punch Time Explosion. Then there was like the Nickelodeon one as well, and then there was also like the PlayStation one that came out like years ago.
I played that too, like the Cartoon Network one you were talking about. I played that as well. I think I think when I was younger, I always played like Ben 10 because he was always my favorite. I think. What about the Ninja Turtles one? You ever played that one?
No, I never actually played that one. I've heard things about it, but I never actually played it.
Yeah, but like back to the whole reboot thing. I did had high hopes for it. Like I was hoping that it was gonna be better, but I kind of like I was kind of disappointed with the trailer. Like, what's your thoughts on it?
I mean, everybody's kind of like bashing it for like the art style basically, but I personally just wasn't a huge fan of like kind of like using like kind of like making Shrek twerk and whatnot. Now, here's the thing. I know some people are probably gonna say that Shrek has been known to make pop culture references in their movies, and yes, they have. There was literally a scene in Shrek 2 where basically they did a parody of cops basically when Shrek was getting arrested and Far Far Away, and I'll admit that was funny, and it has been notorious to make fun of like pop culture, like to make pop culture references and make fun of them. But with this, it just seems like it's like, hey guys, look, it's the Shrek memes. I just hope to God they don't make like a reference to like Shrek is Love and Shrek is Life into the movie just for shits and giggles for like the kids watching the movie. I've also been seeing weird theories as well where like people say that like, oh, Shrek ate his kids. That's why the two other kids are not in this movie, guys, and it's only the girl.
Is that actually like one of the theories why the other two kids then came in?
It is a theory, but I don't buy it because it could just simply be the fact that they're not ready to show them. They're not ready to show the world yet what they look like.
I don't know why, but I have a feeling that one of the kids will be voiced by what's Sonic the Hedgehog's voice actor?
Ben Schwartz, which we'll actually talk about Sonic after this as well, actually.
Exactly. Like, I have a feeling that he might voice one of the sons. I have a feeling about that, low-key.
Maybe. I feel like that Zendaya, it just shows that they're willing to, like, move on with, like...
I was gonna make a joke about that, I'm not sure if you've seen that meme that's been popping up as Zendaya in that one scene that has Tom Holland crying. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
It was that tennis movie, like, that, it was a meme that, like, it was a tennis movie where Zendaya was making out with two guys at the same time, and there was a meme of, like, Tom Holland crying, like, how Tom Holland is being, like, after watching that movie.
So he basically got jealous?
I don't think he actually got jealous, but they were making fun of him, saying like, "Oh, how do you feel about like your girlfriend making out with two guys at the same time?" Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, that's part of the business. They're engaged, right?
I think so, yeah. And that's the thing with like when you're an actor, actress, like you have to do stuff like that. Like that's how you make a living. You go around with that.
Well, I mean, yeah, and also there's like some actors that literally have to get naked for like a sex scene, basically.
I think that was like, I'm not sure. Remember the old Batman and Robin with Adam West and Burt Ward?
Yeah, the 1960 Batman.
I think this. I don't know how true it is. I think the Robin actor, I think he lost his marriage because of a stupid kiss scene.
With like a love interest or Robin kissing Batman?
No, like, I think they were filming an episode. One of the episodes, he had to kiss a woman. And I think he was already engaged to another person who was I think they were together before he became famous. And like I think he talked about saying that like to her like it's just a kiss. I have to do this. But she was like hella jealous. And they had to perform the kiss like countless times and then she left the studio.
Damn, that's wild.
I mean, what do you expect, dude? It's like, it's part of the business. You have to do that.
Oh, yeah, making out for a movie, that's not a problem. It's just the fact that she kind of was, like, getting into a relationship with this guy, and she knew, like, that he's an actor and probably had to do stuff like that, and breaking up with him eventually and making an entire scene about it. I don't know, that just, like, you had to know what you're getting yourself into.
Exactly, like, if I was an actress, I had to know what I'm getting myself into. Like, you know, that she would probably have to do a kiss scene. It probably means nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So, I know we're talking about Shrek right now, but do you feel like almost every single reboot that you watch, since we're talking about reboots and revivals right now, do you feel that for the most part, all of them are like bad? Or would you say that there's actually some that you actually like?
Well, I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. Like, I've seen some reboots and they're not really calling to me. Like, you know, I guess the reboot that really caught my attention was the Lilo and Stitch reboot. Like, I'm kind of excited for that. That looks It looked exciting. It didn't look like they tried to be. It didn't look like they were trying to be like putting references and making everyone do like TikTok dances. Like, I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, I'm glad that like, you know, like Lilo's not grabbing her phone saying, "Oh my god, let's do the cool TikTok dance, guys." And then Stitch joins in or whatever. It actually seems like it's actually being faithful to its source material. The only problem I have with the movie is the fact that Jabba and the other, I forget the other alien's name, the one that's like a cross-dresser basically. You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, no, I know who you're talking about. I was gonna say something about that too.
There is literally a scene of them like becoming humans, and while that sounds like a good idea, and it actually does sound like it would be a pretty hilarious idea, my concern is that they're gonna do that pretty much for like the entire movie, basically.
That's what I'm afraid of too, because they have Zach Galifianakis, and he's like a very well known actor. So I feel like they're gonna milk with the whole like, oh, they're always gonna be a human form 24/7. But let's see what happens. One complaint I do have to say, I'm kind of mad about who they cast as Bubbles. Like, don't get me wrong, it looks good, but I kind of was hoping somebody else would have played him.
Who did you expect was going to play Cobra Bubbles?
Did you see the Luke Cage series on Netflix?
Briefly, you're talking about the guy from Criminal Minds?
Is he on Criminal Minds? Mike Cordier, I think his name was.
I think that's who he is. He plays Morgan, I think, in Criminal Minds.
But yeah, the guy who played Luke Cage, that would have been a great opportunity of him playing Bubbles. That would have been a good match. I like the actors playing him though. Still,
I forget who's playing Cobra Bubbles in the remake.
Good question. I didn't even check. But to answer your question about reboots, I feel like they just have to either be faithful or just try not to change it too much, dude. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like with the whole Snow White movie. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, God. Oh, my goodness. You know what's funny about that? I remember the actress was getting... What?
No, I was saying, like, what? Say it.
Oh, sorry. So, I was gonna say that, like, you know what's funny? That actress was literally starting to, like, basically say how like how dated I believe like the original Snow White movie was, and basically was like dissing the movie on like the internet. Basically, I believe it was on Twitter, because you know Twitter is like the lovable website basically where everybody goes and expresses their opinions. And basically what she was saying was like, you know, like this movie is like overrated or whatever, and she hopes to be making it better or whatever, like trying to like hype herself up, but basically also like dissing the old movie. And yeah, it did not sit well, and there was like for a while people were having backlash with this actress, and it's so surprising that she still is playing this role as Snow White even after everything that happened.
No, seriously, like I heard so much controversy was like it wasn't gonna be seven dwarves, was it? It was gonna be like seven something. What was it gonna be?
I don't remember, but I don't even think the dwarves are like short, if I remember correctly.
They weren't. I think it was something else. But like,
what's next? Disney's gonna make them like 7 feet tall, like almost like freaking like giants, basically. Then they wouldn't be called dwarves. Would they be called 7 giants? Snow White and the 7 giants.
I think they're using like CGI for the dwarves, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. They're gonna use CGI. I think I saw it briefly with the trailer.
I saw that too. There was controversy with that, saying like it was kind of limiting actors and actresses who have dwarfism or the little people. Which is I kind of agree on that a little bit. Like, it could give them an opportunity, but I heard there was also controversy with Peter Dinklage. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, Game of Thrones.
The what?
The guy in Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah, like, he took offense. I think he was asked to be a part of it, but he took offense to it, though. So maybe that's why they decided to, like, do CGI, so they don't want to, like no controversy. But there's already controversy with the movie. I heard there's not going to be a big premiere for it.
And you know, honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you, I've never been a huge fan of like this new path that Disney has been doing since like a decade, basically, with like this whole like, hey, let's reboot every single classic movie that we have. Let's reboot Snow White. Let's reboot Alice in Wonderland. Let's reboot Dumbo. Let's reboot Pinocchio. Like, all these movies that they have in their library, because they're kind of like running out of like originality, basically. They're just resulting to just basically take everything that they created that was like considered like their magnum opuses or libraries of like their magnum opuses from their animation library, and now they're just like, hey, you know what, let's just reboot them with live action. Let's make everything CGI. And and it's just so awful. 90% of these movies are bad, and I never enjoyed any one of them. They just are not, they just ruin the entire vibe and everything. I'm worried about Lilo and Stitch as well because yes, it doesn't look bad so far and it actually looks pretty enjoyable, but I mean, I always will always go back to the original because that's like my favorite Disney movie of all time.
No, seriously, that's my favorite as well. Like, there were some originals that they did really good, but I don't know why they didn't get the coverage that they did. I'm not sure if you see this movie, Turning Red. You know what I'm talking about?
That's Pixar, but yeah, that was actually a really good movie. I really like the message of it. It's funny though because I've talked to a couple people and they just call it that period movie basically.
Because of what it is, like coming of age and like turning red. But it's like, it's just a coming of age story, like, going through changes of puberty, all that, which we all experience. And like, oh God, that's that's like hell is it in itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, Turning Red was a good movie and I actually really liked it a lot. I actually think it was like a really like great like Pixar movie that they did. And then, but like I feel like that Disney's like main lineup of movies that kind of came out, like not with the Pixar branch, but like just their main animation movies. I feel like the last good one was maybe Zootopia, I would.
I haven't. I heard how bad it was. I didn't even bother. But I did see Moana 2 because I moved down to Tennessee and my cousin offered to take me to the movies. So I said, okay, yeah, and he just suggested Moana 2 and we just watched it for some reason. So yeah.
What did you think of it?
I never saw the first one, but I thought it was okay. I mean, it's a sequel. What do you expect? Like, sometimes a sequel is better than the original, but it depends on the movie.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that movies where I like the sequel more than the original, to be honest.
Or it could just be the other way around as well.
No, seriously. I mean, what's your thoughts on Wish? I never saw Wish.
I mean, I'm not gonna say too much since I don't want to spoil it for you. I actually kind of want you to watch it a bit because I want you to kind of get your own opinion on it. But basically, I thought, at first it looked a bit promising, but then as the movie kind of unfolded, the plot kind of was a bit all over the place and it didn't really feel like a genuine Disney movie. The animation as well, it looked very different. It wasn't bad. I actually personally didn't have a problem with it. It's just it looks so weird seeing that kind of animation that was used for TV quality for a big budget movie basically. I will say though that there is this one song that people, and I'm not going to say the name of it because I kind of want you to watch the movie itself. It's by Chris Pine, basically, who's one of the actors, and basically it's a villain song, and it's and when you think of Disney villain songs, you think of them as kind of these dramatic highlights of the movie where it basically cleverly mix in the villain's goals and motives basically, and there's a lot of classic Disney villain songs, but with this one it takes a bit of a different approach where instead of it keeping that exact formula, it tries to go for a more gaslighting kind of thing where basically the song sounds very happy and joyful, but then it kind of there's a undertone of the villain basically gaslighting the audience into thinking that he's actually the good guy since he's actually trying to help the people versus destroy the people. I know some people did not like this song, but me personally, I thought it was okay. It wasn't the best song in the world, but it is kind of catchy. I'll give it that.
Yeah, I never saw the movie. I heard some mixed reviews on it, so I just never got around to it.
I mean, give it a chance at least. I mean, some people say it's bad, some people say it's okay. I'd at least give it a shot.
No, I definitely will after this episode. I mean, back to we were gonna talk about Sonic at one point, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, we're talking about reboots and whatnot, but yeah, I feel a good example of reboots has been the Sonic franchise because I feel that the Sonic movies have kind of reinstated Sonic back into popularity because I feel there was a time and place where Sonic has been kind of Sonic was kind of in a downward spiral where basically he was having crappy video games and he had very crappy spin-offs that nobody really gave a damn about. Not to mention there was Sonic Forces, which is literally DeviantArt coming to life basically as a video game, and I didn't. What?
And Sonic Boom. Sonic Boom was something.
Well, yeah, that was one of the Sonic spin-offs. That wasn't actually like a mainline Sonic game. It was actually supposed to be like a spin-off or whatever. But yeah, that was not really that good. Which is kind of ironic because it was made by the same people that were former employees for Naughty Dog, if I remember correctly. And they typically make good games in Naughty Dog, like Crash Bandicoot and Jack and Daxter. But anyways, well,
there's like I heard also huge debates about like Sonic's arms that they were all blue. I don't know if you heard about that.
oh yeah, like in the original like games, he has like flesh tone arms, but then in the movies he has like the blue arms.
I think the start of that rant was like that guy who made that weird fan fiction comic about Sonic. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think I know. But anyways, as I was saying, basically when it comes to like Sonic, I felt like there was at one point where he was kind of like in a downward spiral. His games weren't really like that good. He was kind of losing his popularity. He was kind of being overshadowed literally by like other company mascots like Mario and other franchises. Well, yeah, Mario had his low points, but he was able to like jump up his way back basically. Pun very much intended. But basically, eventually I feel like that the movies oddly enough revived his popularity to not only like Sonic fans but also casual fans as well. And now it's like now a wide range of people are being exposed to Sonic. And with the third movie just coming out, I enjoyed it. I liked it.
I liked it. I saw the third movie too. I didn't see the first one, but I think the third one was actually pretty good.
Did you watch the second one?
No.
You just went to the third one?
Because my brother saw the first two movies. I saw a little bit of the first one, and I saw a clip of the second one. And my brother wanted me to like take him out to the movies, so I just took him out to go see Sonic 3. So that was pretty good.
Yeah. The cool thing about it is that it gives you more fan service.
For real. You know what? I heard a fact about the original voice actor for Sonic auditioned for the revival, but he was never given the part. Do you know who the voice actor for the original Sonic was?
Like the original Sonic games, or like the one that basically does like the voice as of like the 2010s?
Like the ones who did the cartoons. I think the guy who played Steve Urkel was the voice actor for Sonic.
Wait, Are you talking about... You're talking about the one that did, like, the voice of Sonic in, like, Sonic Boom, right? Or are you talking about a different voice actor?
I'm talking about a different voice actor from, like, the ones from the 90s.
Like during, like, Sonic Adventure and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think the original voice actor for that cartoon. He said he auditioned for it, but they declined him for some reason.
I personally think Ben Schwartz does a good job. I mean, he nails the personality of Sonic. And another thing as well is that a lot of times with like these like live action reboots or reboots from like video games or cartoons or whatever, I feel like that sometimes they always get like the characters wrong and they don't get them accurate. But with Sonic, I feel that they kind of go for a bit of like a fourth, like a meta character, but it works because Sonic is known to be very like a cocky kind of character where he's like very energetic and like, you know, kind of like, you know, jokes around basically. I feel like he's like kind of like the Spider-Man of like video games at some points, or he kind of like trash talks his opponents and whatnot. So it works.
Oh, definitely, man. Like, and plus they had Jim Carrey, so it was going to be a good movie right there.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like Jim Carrey is an amazing actor. I can't believe though that he might be retiring with this franchise.
I heard he was going to retire originally, but he only comes back just to do these movies with the Sonic franchise.
Well, that tells you dedication.
But like, I heard they were trying to give the Sonic treatment to the new Shrek movie.
Like they're gonna redesign the character? The character design?
You remember like they had so much hate for like, you know, the original character design, the Nightmare Fuel Sonic.
Well, but
then
they
hated so much.
Well, technically
like,
he did come back in like Chip and Dale basically.
I saw that movie. I like that. That was a good movie. I didn't expect it to be like that, but I like the Who Framed Roger Rabbit aspect of it.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was certainly quite of a surprise as well. Although I was kind of confused of like what was like the cross-up lineup basically, because the crossover lineup, because it kind of just looked like it was just like mainly like Disney lineups, but then they also had like other properties as well.
And they had South Park, Beavis and Butthead was there, and Squidward was there. Also Jimmy Neutron, I think.
Yeah, there was like a lot of properties, so I was like kind of surprised about that, because like like Who Framed Roger Rabbit had like a mix of like Warner Brothers and like Disney characters, and
No,
like this kind of
seriously.
just had like a little bit of everything.
No, yeah. I mean, that's what they were planning to do with. That's what they want to do with the Shrek movie. Like, just how do you say, like, create so much drama with it that they just redesigned the whole movie.
I mean, do you actually think they're gonna do that though?
I think so. I think the one way they could do it is that they say like the trailer we saw, like they had to go through different dimensions. That could be one way they could do it. But do you think that's possible that they might like drop that in?
I don't. I hate to be this guy, but I don't know if Universal is actually going to take the feedback. Keep in mind, this is the same company that basically was like, hey, you know what? You guys want to see Megamind come back? Well, you know what? Let's give you Megamind in a form of a crappy animation exclusively on Peacock. And my God, it was awful. So I don't know if this same exact company is basically going to be willing to redesign what they're doing. See, at least with the Sonic movie, it felt needed because, well, we didn't want to watch a movie where, like, literally a rat was going to be running around our screens and, like, basically was just going to be like, haha, catch you later, egghead or whatever. And then that's how we would remember, Sonic.
Imagine they stuck with that style and, like, imagine, like, how like, freaking Tails and Knuckles and Shadow would have looked like.
God, I mean, there's literally a meme of, like, literally just, like, Tails looking like a fox on, like, crack, basically.
That probably would have, like, I feel like they would have stuck with that style. I feel like the fans, like, were saying so much ish about it that they had to change it. It could be it because, Shrek is, like, is a big character, so they could do it. It's just all about what the studios are going to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right about that. I do think so. I wanted to actually say something about like kind of like reboots as well. One thing I noticed with like reboots or revivals is that it's mainly the companies that only do it for like a quick buck that basically pretty much shit on everybody. But then if you actually have like people that were originally a part of like their original creation, like it was by the same people that originally did that creation, or if it was like by the people that actually were fans of that product, then typically 90% of the time they work out pretty well. I mean, look at like the Super Mario movie. Sure, they had Nintendo's help, but basically it turned out better than expected. Was the story kind of shitty? Yeah, it was kind of shitty, but people didn't really come there for the story. It was basically Mario to be on the big screen and have voice acting by, of course, Jack Black and Chris Pratt.
Chris Brown. No, get that shit out of here. But no, Chris Pratt. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
No, sorry, I thought my audio was. But no, I heard the original voice actor for Mario was there, but they never how you say who did he play in the movie? I forgot.
You mean Chris Pratt?
No, the original voice actor for Mario.
Oh, Charles Martinet. I was making a dumb joke about how Chris Pratt has always voiced.
How did he do it? He goes like, "Let's go." Like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he voiced the dad and he voiced the guy at the pizza at the pizza place playing the arcade machine.
I feel like it was a missed opportunity for him to be Mario. Like I feel like if they had him, they should have just used him.
Fortunately, though, Hollywood doesn't like to just use original voice actors. Hollywood likes to use big names.
Like, dude, there's a very talented voice actors like Tara Strong and all that stuff.
Yeah, but here's the thing, like. You have to also think about it in, like, a marketing sense. I agree with what you're saying, but, like, unfortunately, like, when you think about it, like, unfortunately, Hollywood is going to just try and get, like, the big names attached to their properties. Like, why do you think, like, 90% of the time, like, classic cartoons that get revived into, like, big-budget movies, they always, like, switch out the original voice actors for, like, bigger names?
No, yeah. Like, with the Smurf movie with having Rihanna play Smurfette.
I still don't understand why they did that as a decision.
She was voiced by like a couple famous singers, I think.
I'd rather see Katy Perry voice Smurfette again. I'm so sorry, but I just wanted to say that real quick. But what were you saying?
It was also voiced by Demi Lovato, I think.
What?
Not for the second movie, I think for another movie, but I'm not. It was for like a special or something.
Oh.
Like I think Demi Lovato voiced it. But like I felt like Hollywood should just stick with like original. Like, the good voice actors. Like, don't get me wrong, the celebrity ones are okay, but, like, if you have talented voice actors, use them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you. It's just that, unfortunately, Hollywood's like, you know what? That's not what's going to get all the kiddies to see this movie. No, we need true voice actors. We need big names. We need people that are gonna get the monies. We need to get the monies at our seats. We need people like that.
You know what I want now? I want an original, cool story with good character development. That's what I really want.
You want an original story with cool character development? Well, why don't you ask what happened to Ruby Gilmore when DreamWorks released that movie? Sure, they spoiled the movie, but hey, it was original concept, right?
Wait, what's Ruby Gilmore?
Basically, it was this movie that released like 2023 during the summer, and it was like this movie about like this girl who is like a half kraken and half, human basically. And pretty much it was like supposed to be this like original movie that was released under DreamWorks that's not based on like a book or a TV show or a cartoon or anything like that. And pretty much like what happened is that the movie bombed. It did not get any attention at all. It didn't really help either that the marketing for the movie was crappy. Unfortunately, pure originality is just dead at this point, and it's hard to just come up with pure originality. Everybody takes something from somebody, as we always do.
I heard Quentin Tarantino, he said that this quote, and I kind of agree with him, like, there's no such thing as a great movie. It's either a Marvel movie or a TikToker, basically.
Yeah, more or less.
Like, a lot of people get famous on TikTok, dude. Like, what's your thoughts on that?
I mean, depends on what they're getting famous by. If it's fame for actually just for attention and like just negativity fame, then that's really dumb. But if it's actually fame that they're actually using for like with their talents and whatnot, then applauds to them basically.
Does screaming count as a talent?
I don't think so. Everybody screams.
No, dude, because I heard this guy is trending on TikTok. He's kind of a menace. Like, he screams something, like, in a store and acts like it wasn't him. Like, I think he went to Michael's and just said, like, what the F? And he was just minding his own business, and he kept saying, no, it wasn't me. I said, bro, that's kind of, like...
See what gross. I mean? Like, that's an example of, like, getting famous for dumb shit. Like, I know there's probably people that find that funny, but, like, they only can do that for so long that eventually it's going to get old.
Exactly. And, like, if you do that at a certain age, you kind of look like a jerk. Like, I think we know some influencers who kind of act like jerks on social media.
Like that one kid who basically hides behind the security guards every single time he basically is, like, trying to pick a fight with people.
Jack Dory?
Yeah.
Like, he's kind of a great guy to be around with. He's super cool, like, filming his friend while he was in a car accident.
Oh, yeah, and then, like, basically, like, trying to, like, mock people to basically hit them, basically, but in reality, he hides behind the security guards, basically, and he basically looks like a villain straight out of, like, Popeye or, like, a cartoon villain reincarnated into real life, basically.
Like, this is him, like, he goes up to be like, what, you want to fight? Then he pushes them, he said, like, yo, dude, come over here. And just grabs, like, a big, burly guy just to be in front of him. Like, that's how he, like, picked up fights.
Yeah, that's wild. But, anyways, have you seen... I don't really use TikTok, but, have you seen, like, positive things in TikTok being actually, like, promoted on there? Like, people actually using their, like, talents or their skills to promote themselves and actually getting, like, pretty good amount of views and like actually getting like fame.
Here's my opinion on TikToks. I'm still mad. Like, you do know it's still getting banned, right?
Well, yeah, but that was not my question.
But like, I'm just putting it out there. It's still getting banned, and I'm mad about that. It's still getting banned because TikTok is not just about people just doing weird dances or just doing stupid pranks. Like I said, it actually helps a lot of small businesses. It helps artists form themselves. Like Davon. I love Davon. I love Davon because he's a great artist. You know what I'm talking about? The guy who draws people on the subway?
Yeah, and he has like conversations with them.
Exactly. He's my inspiration because he actually showed you can actually be an artist and live your dream. Like, he travels around the world. Like, he actually used TikTok to his own advantage to get more following, to do more art. Like, that's the good I see. And also other businesses, say like a restaurant open up and like they just do TikToks of them cooking, or they would do the dance just to stay relevant, but it's not the whole thing. It kind of helps with their business as well, because I also see other TikToks where they film themselves cooking the food and talk about all that stuff. Like, they talk about their day and whatnot. So I feel like TikTok's a good thing to have. It does help promote yourself in a wider audience. You just have to know how to use it. So I do feel like TikTok is good. Is that some people use it just for stupid stuff.
I mean, but let me ask you something. I'm going to challenge you a little bit. What do you think people see more of, though? Do they see more of, like, the negative aspect of it or the positive aspect of it? I know you just said that there's, like, the positive aspect of it, but unfortunately, I do think in some regards the negative aspect has been, like, promoted a lot more than the positive aspect. And don't get me wrong, like, we have Instagram and stuff like that, and TikTok is pretty much like Instagram, but with bite-sized content because, well, what, like the videos are like what, like 10 seconds long or 15 seconds long? Like around that range?
I think updates are saying they could do like 10-minute videos if they want to.
But they're like typically bite-sized videos, right? They're typically shorts rather than like long videos that you would watch versus like a YouTube video.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Well,
But like,
but my point is though is that like yeah, you know, like I'm sure there's like positive aspects to TikTok and there's like some good things about it. I do think though, however, that like when people start to become solely reliant on it as it being like a full functional career basically, where they're gonna like basically treat it as if it's like their full life and whatnot. I do think that you should also be mindful that there's other stuff out there versus just technology, because who knows how long we're going to have this technology, and eventually all of us are going to have to like work at a 9 to 5 job basically.
well, that's the other thing. Like, how long can you keep up with a dumb trend like screaming at a store? At that point, you have to do something more drastic, like be more disrespectful, like do more stupid stuff. That's the negative side of TikTok, and I feel like people love drama. And I'll admit, like, I watch the drama, but I don't constantly watch it because I follow this guy named Danny Reyes. Like, he does all like updates with like dramatic music. I feel like that's what draws people in, just drama, to be honest.
I mean, you can say that again. I mean, like, think about it. Like, whenever you watch like the news, what are people going to remember on the news? They're going to remember the negative stuff.
Because that's what sells. And also, like, I think if you're an interesting character, that's what sells. Do you know who Ash Trevino is?
No.
Oh boy, I feel like we could do a whole episode on that. But
Okay, well then let's save that for the next episode then. But can you give me like a brief summary of what this person is?
Okay, quick summary. She's a mom who acts like who acts like she's a teenager who dates prisoners and does like live TikToks on the phone with them, and like she just kind of acts very She doesn't act her age from what I see. She acts like she's like 16 years old.
How old
and
is
she's
this
like
woman?
40. She's 40.
God.
That's the negative side of TikTok because people like to see that. Like that kind of says like what we are as people, like what we want to see in other people. Like I still think like TikTok's a good use of like for other things like for businesses and like art. I still feel like that. Like I would like to do a TikTok, but like isn't TikTok still getting banned? Like, is there even a point?
I think how it works is that once you delete it off your phone, like it's basically gone forever, but then you cannot re-download it basically. Whereas if you have the app, as long as you still have the app, I think you can still use it.
That is true. I mean, like I feel like social media has like taken a toll on everything. Like especially YouTube, you know what I mean?
I don't think it's just YouTube as well. I think it's just literally taking a toll on society where people are starting to have unrealistic expectations on stuff, and like it doesn't really help either that like I feel that social media has kind of consumed most of our life where now it's kind of taken away socialization with people, where people have actual conversations with people versus just like going through like someone's like profile and just like, hey, oh my god, look at this guy's body. Oh my god, he's fat. Oh my god, look at these abs. They're so cool. And like, and people don't realize that, these pictures are all just things that these people just want you to see. They're not a person's actual life. And I hate how like technology has kind of taken over that. I mean, like, Instagram, all these are all like social medias that all play a role into stuff like this. It's just that like I think that what's going on as well is because TikTok is kind of one of those social medias that's very addictive and is probably more addictive than Instagram at this point. Like TikTok is kind of unfortunately getting the shaft right now where it might just be an example of what is to come basically with other social medias. I mean, look at what Elon Musk is doing with freaking Twitter. Look what's going on with that. You can't even promote your artwork on there on other platforms.
Is that true? You can post your artwork on
You can
X?
post your
Really?
artwork on X. It's just you can't promote it on. You can't promote other social medias with other artistic outlets onto your X, basically.
But like, say like I want to promote my drawing on Twitter, but like I can't put a link to my Instagram or YouTube channel. Something like that.
Exactly. You can't promote your Instagram.
Dude, I used to like Elon Musk. Now he's just kind of like a troll with like billions of trillions of dollars right now.
And he also makes cars.
He still does that?
Teslas. Isn't that like that box car or whatever? The one that looks like something from like Minecraft or whatever, like a car of his.
I still want that Tesla. It looks pretty cool.
Why?
I still
It
want
looks
that.
like a Nintendo 64 car.
Let me explain because I'm gonna make it look like the Batmobile. Like I'm gonna put like some bat wings on the side and like have the Batman music like that Batman. Like I think that'd be kind of cool.
Doesn't even look like the Batmobile.
Yes, it does. Like once I put the wings on, it'll look exactly like the Batmobile.
So you think that just by getting like plastic wings and just putting it on your car is just gonna be like, oh yeah, you shoot the Batmobile, guys. You shoot the Batmobile.
Yes,
Oh.
but like do you think life was better before social media? Wait, what? I'm kind of answering my own question. Yes, I think it was in a way.
It's a really. It depends on what you mean by that question, though.
I think like expectations and like how people view themselves. Like it kind of goes back to youth. Like people want to look like this guy or this girl. But I still see the good side of social media. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's positive and negatives, not just in social media, but everything in life. It's just that, unfortunately, I think that, like, a lot of people are clouded by the negative thoughts of social media because, well, they focus on that. And let's be real here, when you watch, like, the news and stuff like that or read articles, people are probably going to look more for, like, the negative aspects of it because, we are all, like, gravitated towards negativity.
For real. And this whole conversation started with the reboots. I feel like the negative side of social media was like they kind of ruined the Shrek movie because I feel like you're right. It's just gonna be about memes about the whole Shrek thing. What was it? The Shrek with 6-pack abs and all that stuff.
Or like Shrek twerking.
What's another one of Shrek? Like I saw a video of like style. I could have drawn my croissant, but it was just a video of Shrek doing it.
Why do I feel like that they're gonna like the next trailer for the movie is possibly just gonna show like that Snapchat filter of like someone making out with Shrek?
I feel like still makes a comeback. I feel like there could still be good movies being made.
Yeah, I'm sure there are. I mean, like, as a person, as us artists right here, of course we take ideas that we learn from, but like we try and incorporate it into ourselves, basically, to make to make what we think is original. Granted, it's not gonna be like original to the point where it's like, like, oh my goodness, we reinvented the wheel or something like that, or we invented something new. But no, I mean, but like it's still gonna like be something that's our like styles basically, and you can when you look at it, you can tell it's created by us. For example, like you are inspired by a couple of artists. Like there's this one artist I remember you telling me about. What was his name? Vex or whatever.
ZHC Gox. Gox is actually a really cool guy. Like he's great at storytelling, video editing. Like he really tells a lot with his art, but also with his videos because there's cool transitions and like he uses a lot of color into them. Like he's one of the guys I look up to.
But like your graffiti art style, that's Vex, right? Or what was his name?
Vex too, like Gox. To me, they're both like in the graffiti style, like a lot of cartoon. It's very cartoony. Like right now, my style is kind of like the American traditional because I'm trying to build up my portfolio to be a tattoo artist right now.
Yeah, your stuff is really good.
Thanks, man. Your stuff is good too. Like I feel like your style is like more illustrative, like children's books and all that.
I'm kind of just like experimenting now at this point. Like it's funny because I never really had like a specific artist I was inspired by. I just like love like searching around the internet from like different artists, whether it's like contemporary artists or like cartoonists or like children's book illustrators. I always just kind of like love to like have my variety. My varieties open to me.
Yeah, you just have to like look up, draw whatever inspires you. That's all I have to watch a lot of cartoons when I was a kid, so that's why I draw a lot.
I also watched cartoons as a kid and still to this day, and I get inspired by that as well.
I'm watching this. Do you know Hit or Miss? Is that what it's called? The new Disney movie or Disney series?
Are you talking about like that baseball like anime that baseball show or whatever?
Yeah.
I've never seen it, but I think that's what's it called.
There was only one reason why I watched that series.
Why?
You don't know who I'm talking about?
No, I don't watch the show.
I think it's the mom I'm talking about.
What about the mom, Tony? What are you getting at over here?
For our viewers, they would know what I'm talking about the mom.
Oh, I see, Tony. Oh, I see what you're doing here. No.
No, because I think in the series, like the mom is more like an influencer and like kind of immature to be a mom, but like, and the kid acts more of the adult in the series. That's what I saw. I never watched the full series, to be honest.
Oh, I thought you like watched like the full series.
No, I mean I haven't. It didn't really caught my eye, to be honest.
I mean, the animation. It reminds me a lot of DreamWorks, though. It doesn't look like Pixar.
It actually does a little bit. I mean, like I haven't seen a DreamWorks film in a while, to be honest.
It reminds me of like I hate to say this movie and giving this movie even any mention at all. The Boss Baby.
Oh God, the Boss Baby.
Oh
Okay,
my gosh.
this is a controversial comment, but I thought it was okay.
Okay, yeah. Oh, I'm willing to listen.
It didn't seem like a typical movie. I don't know why people thought it was so bad when they first saw it.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think it's like so bad that like it should be basically like the He Who Shall Not Be Named of movies. But I will say this. I guess the reason why I personally just don't like it is that here's the thing. The movie was based on a book, a children's book. Naturally, we all knew that DreamWorks was eventually going to pick it up and make a movie out of it. But I think that
Wait, it was based on a children's book?
yeah, it was under the same name basically. But the thing is though is that like I feel like that the movie's so it's just dumb and it's just complete white noise because it's just basically like, hey, you know what? Let's take Alec Baldwin and make him into a baby. And let's make him just say some like poop jokes and butt jokes basically. Or make him shake his ass for like 9 minutes, 10 minutes straight or whatever.
I remember watching The Boss Baby with my stepmom and my stepbrother for some reason. Like it was pretty funny. My stepbrother Eddie laughed so hard during the changing scene. You know what I'm talking about? Scene.
I know what you're talking about.
The one where they do the bong like.
Yeah, the one where the Boss Baby shakes his butt.
Yes, that's the one. For some reason, he laughed so hard that I think the dog was howling for a sec.
Yeah, like, see, like, I don't know, it's not that it's, like, a horrible movie, I'm sure it has its audience, it's just, I find it to be a little bit ridiculous because, like, it's just basically like, hey, you know what, let's have Alec Baldwin be a baby, but the catch is that he talks like a grown man, but he's a baby.
I heard Alec Baldwin's doing a lot of great stuff recently.
Yeah, he is.
But, I never knew it was a children's book, and that's the thing with children's book nowadays, children's books are kind of weird. No.
Yeah, I mean, even the ones back then are like, crazy to read back at because like some of them are a lot darker than you might think.
Yeah, but I'm talking about it kind of goes back to what the whole episode was about, originality. I talked to you about this a couple of days ago, like the Mean Girls children's book. I'm surprised they even have that.
It's funny because, like, is it based on, like, the original movie?
I read you some experts from it, from a little bit. It seemed like it was, word to word from the movie.
Do you want to read some of it right now?
Should we read some of it right now?
Yeah, do you have some of the pages with you?
Let me see. Give me 1 sec.
Righty.
I just gotta delete my history. Do not ask.
Oh, boy, I wonder where your search history is.
Wait, Mean Girls children books.
For those of you that don't know what Tony's search history is he always likes to look for sandwiches.
I love sandwiches.
Yep, which we'll talk more about that possibly next time.
So, I feel like they copied the gymnasium one where they bring all the girls and they do that, what was it, the trust fall thing?
Yes.
Which my favorite scene from that whole clip was when the girl doesn't even go there and she was doing all saying what did she say? I forgot.
We should get along the way that we used to, basically.
And the guy says, she doesn't even go here. That's it. At a topic, how is that even possible? How did she get in anyway? I thought she...
probably she just bypassed it, basically, and was just like, hey, you know what? I'm a student here.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm looking at a page from that exact scene. Let me read it, okay. I just wish we could... Oh, it actually is the same thing. It actually is her. Okay, let me read it. I just wish we could all get along, said a girl who was crying. She doesn't even go here, a hooded figure in the back called out. Everyone turned to look at the girl and realized it was true. What the heck?
It says. Wait, so are there any like illustrations in this book, or is it just literally like all text?
No, there's illustrations. The illustrations are not that bad actually. They're actually pretty good. And like there's an illustrated page of the trust fall. It says this: watching everyone be honest made Hattie realize she hadn't been a good friend to Janice and Damien,
Katie.
or to Regina, Karen, and Gretchen.
It's Katie.
I did say Katie.
I thought you said Caddy.
I said Katie. Oh, they even illustrated a page on like when the whole school was going crazy about like he said, all that stuff.
So
sorry, you want to keep reading or
yeah? Sorry, continue reading.
Okay, Regina was not happy in the school hallway. She passed out copies of pages from the burn book, which had rumors about everyone except Katie, Gretchen, and Karen. Every girl's secret was revealed in the meanest way possible. Yeah, that's some of the pages from the Mean Girls children's book, which is I'm so surprised it was still even made.
I'm just like wondering like how they talk about some of the themes that they talk like I'm sure they cut out like certain scenes from like the original movie for like this book, but I'm just curious of like what they actually write up, like the mean stuff that they write about like the other people in the burn book. I'm curious.
I feel like they just said mean stuff to not go in specific detail about what they were talking about specifically, because I feel like you could like walk away with that because for God's sakes they made the Office children's book, which is actually not that bad, low-key.
The Office children's book? Like, just the entire series or, like, a specific episode?
There was no specific episode. It was literally just, like, its own story. It was like all the Office characters were in kindergarten for some reason.
That sounds kind of clever. I mean, I guess I'm just imagining, like, the art style to be kind of, like, caricature-esque almost.
Yeah, all the characters look like exactly they were on the show. Like, do you know Creed?
Green?
Creed, the weird old guy from the series.
Yeah.
Like, they just have Creed as a kid, but he's just looking directly at the reader the whole time. Every single page, he just kept looking at the reader the whole time. I read it to my little cousin one time. She never saw The Office, I did. And it was actually pretty good. Dwight was assistant to the line leader, which was what Michael was in that book. And like, what else? Yeah, I still don't like Angela. She's terrible.
I'm guessing Angela's mean as she is as in the TV show.
They put her like, you know, in the TV show she has like that mean face.
Yes.
They still put her with that face in the children's book as a kid. Like angry and all that stuff.
Oh my god, I'm actually looking at the art style right now and it looks completely different than what I imagined, but it still looks pretty cute actually.
Yeah. There's an unpopular opinion that I have about the show, but I feel like people will say like why I don't like this type of character.
Who's that?
I don't like Dwight at all. I hate Dwight.
Why do you hate Dwight?
I know he's supposed to be weird, but he just comes across as an asshole, really.
Isn't that literally his character?
Yeah, but like it's just so annoying because I saw a couple episodes of him and he could be such a jerk. Low-key.
I mean, I haven't watched the show in like a very long time, so like I don't exactly remember. I don't know like what specific scenes you're talking about, but I guess I can understand where you're coming from. It's just I like to think of like characters that are like meant to be like hateable or like characters that you actually like despise. Like if their goal is you're supposed to not like them, then that's what makes them work basically.
I got a couple episodes where like why he has to do this. Like I think it was like that one time Daryl was called out sick, and I don't know why. Why does this guy have to make sure he's actually sick? Because that's literally like in real life. I worked in an office. You're not supposed to do that. It's so stupid.
Well, maybe he just had to check if he was actually if he was actually sick.
Yeah, and like he shot off a gun in one of the episodes.
Like any other reasonable person would do.
And he killed Angela's cat, who he was dating at the time.
Maybe he felt threatened by the cat.
No, like the cat was sick, and his only job was to feed the damn cat.
Well, maybe the cat tried to attack him.
What?
Maybe the cat tried to attack him.
No, it's like he has this stupid farm mentality saying, like, if I see an animal in pain, I have to put it out of its misery. But it's a cat. It's not like What is it, like a cow or something?
I guess.
So I can go.
You want to continue? I mean, it's okay to have wrong opinions, but I mean, in all seriousness, though, I mean, I can kind of understand where you're coming from. It's just that, like, I just never really thought of it like that because, like, I always just thought that that's, like, his character, basically. Like, he's supposed to be kind of like this, like, he's supposed to be, like, very out, like, unhinged, basically, and do all this, like, crazy shit.
I think it is, and I think he takes his job way too seriously.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think we all know that. Like, I took my job too seriously too. So yeah. But I heard the Office is having a reboot actually.
Interesting. So, is it with the same cast or is it like different people?
Different people. I think it's based on Australia. You didn't see the trailer?
No.
I've seen the trailer, and it does not seem. It doesn't seem promising, to be honest. Like, I don't know. It's not the same.
Well, that's what reboots are all about. They're not meant to be the same. They're meant to be a reboot.
That's what reboots are nowadays, dude. Nothing original anymore, dude.
There's nothing original anymore. It makes me so sad that I shed a single tear. Sorry, I think I have something in my eye.
I yacked something in my eye. Get it? Yacked? Pun intended. It was so funny that J-Rib stood quiet.
It's so funny that I forgot to laugh.
It was funny. Come on, dude.
It doesn't make sense, though.
Yacht?
Okay, now I got it.
Yacht?
Repeating it like over and over again is not gonna make it funnier.
Yacht. Yacht. Yacht.
Oh god, thank goodness he finally's over.
Yacht.
Alrighty, well, that's going to be it for now for our second episode of Artist Alley. Feel free to possibly check out our incoming Instagram, which has it been uploaded yet, Noni?
But yeah, I mean, that's a work in progress. It will most likely come up like next week, dude. So
yeah.
Don't worry, I got you, man.
Yeah, so anyways, with our soon Instagram account to be created by our lovely Noni over here and myself, of course. We're going to be ending our episode right now. But next time we may be talking about something quite fulfilling and quite appetizing. So don't just leave us yet. We will be coming back. Any final remarks you want to say, Noni?
Be excited for that. It's going to be a big crash.
Yeah, it definitely will be. Alrighty, well, again, I hope you guys enjoyed our content, and have a great rest of your day, afternoon, evening, good night, or have a good rest of your day, good night, and whatever. So, later.